welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back from Spain. We're back from our trip. We've been back for a few days actually. I just spent the last few days spending time with Josh and Avery. I missed them so much. I will fill you guys in on the rest of my trip. I did obviously vlog a little bit of it, which was my last video, so check that one out if you want to see it. But as you would have seen from the little beginning clip of this video, I finally built my kitchen units, which I'm really excited about. I'm so happy with them. They were fairly easy to build, so I've styled them up and everything, so I'm going to show you those in this video as well. I've also got a couple of things to do today. Avery also has a portage appointment at 2:30. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a busy week, to be honest, but I thought we could spend the day together because it feels like ages since I actually last picked up the camera. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago, but normally I film 2 videos a week, and last week I only filmed the one because we were away, and I ended that quite early on in the week, so it literally feels like it's been ages since I spoke to you guys. So I feel like I've got a little bit to catch you up on actually. But it is currently 8:15. Avery has just had all of her medicines. I've got a few things to get done. I am still catching up on washing from our holiday. I've managed to unpack mostly, but I've just got a pile of washing that I need to get through, so I need to get another load of washing in as well. And yeah, looking forward to spending the day with you guys. So the boys and I need to pop out. I say the boys and I, the boys Avery and I need to pop out into town in a minute. I need to go to the post office because I managed to get Avery's pyramid ordered to the post office instead of the house because it came while we were away. I've got to get it today because once opened, hers is only good for 30 days, which is tomorrow, so I do need to go and get it today. I mean, I'd really rather not because the boys both have upset tummies. I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that it's a bug or anything because, you know, we have just gone from one country to another, different food, different climate, so I'm just going to keep an eye on them, but they're both complaining that their tummies hurt. But I'm going to go and get this med, and then maybe if they feel up to it, I might see if they want to pop into M&S and choose their school shoes because they actually go back to school next week. The holidays have flown by. Anyway, our trip was lovely. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit lonely just being there on my own with the boys. I felt a lot more like a chaperone, I guess. I kind of just sat and watched the boys, made sure that they, you know, were safe and happy. And do you know what? I'm not entirely mad at that, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what I wanted for this trip. I wanted the boys to be able to have a good time, blow off some steam, eat what they want, drink what they want, and oh my goodness, they did. They certainly got their money's worth for the amount of food that they ate. I think one of them always had an ice cream in their hand. They also had slushies on the all-inclusive plan, which I fully took advantage of. I'm not gonna lie though, I stopped drinking them after like the second day, just because I realised just how much sugar was probably in them, and I was drinking about 4 or 5 a day. So yeah, it was really, really nice. Food was lovely. Do you know, the hotel was really good. I can't really fault the hotel. The only thing I wish was there was a little bit more English translation. And you know, I get that we were in Spain, so naturally the majority of everything, all of the entertainment was going to be in Spanish. However, there was a lot of English guests. A lot. I'd probably say the majority of the people there were English. And there wasn't really any English translation. So I think a lot of us couldn't really understand what was going on, so we didn't really enjoy the evening entertainment that much. But again, not entirely mad at that, because we had really long days. We would be up at about 8, maybe 7:30, 8 down for breakfast. Then the pool opened at 10, and then we were at the pool from maybe 10 till 7 in the evening, because dinner wasn't until 8, so I just let the boys enjoy the pool while they could. It was so warm to the point that I couldn't stay out of the pool for more than 10 to 15 minutes at a time. I think it was around 34 degrees, and that's Celsius, so it's pretty warm. But it was really, really nice. The boys played a couple of games of water basketball, which was really fun to watch. I know that they really enjoyed it. Marley and Zach are actually really good. Eli, bless him, it was quite an aggressive game, I'm not gonna lie. The kids all got quite competitive, and Eli, bless him, he's so small. I had to tell him about 3 or 4 times to kind of get out of the defence area, because when the ball got to the goal, everyone crowded in, and I was so worried that Eli was going to get crushed. But they did that, which they thought was really fun. Mostly we did stay at the pool. We went to the beach once, only for about an hour. It was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. The sun was still blaring, it was still warm, but the pool was shaded. The pool got shaded by about 5 o'clock. So I took them for a walk down to the beach. We had a little splash in the water for an hour. We didn't really do the beach beyond that for a few reasons. One, because obviously the beach being such a big area, it would be too difficult for me to keep an eye on the boys if one of them trailed off and I was trying to keep an eye on another. I've only got one set of eyes and they don't turn in different directions, so that was one reason. The other reason being that when we were at the beach in that hour, I actually caught the sun more in that hour than I did in the entire day by the pool, so I figured it would be much more risky in terms of the boys getting sunburn. They were all plastered in factor 50. Zach and Marley were both wearing UV vests. I tried to put a t-shirt on Eli at one point through the trip because he was catching the sun quite a bit, but he got told off by the lifeguard. He wasn't allowed to wear a normal t-shirt in the pool. The boys also got kicked out of the pool by the lifeguard for pushing each other in. It was just a game, but the lifeguard was worried about them getting hurt, so he was just doing his job. He just asked them to get out and calm down for a little bit before they got back in. But yeah, Zach, bless him, he has kind of like a neckline, 2 hand lines, and then leg lines. So he's like, his torso and upper legs and arms are white, and then he's caught the sun on his hands, legs, and kind of face and neck where they were exposed. He didn't burn at all. It's just you can see that there's a bit of colour. Marley, on the other hand, didn't catch the sun at all, really. He got a bit freckly on his face. Eli, he has gone a beautiful colour. Like I said, they were all in factor 50, so they were all well and truly protected, but Eli has caught the sun beautifully. He is a lovely brown colour. I feel like I caught the sun quite a bit as well, which is nice. I actually feel like I've got more of a tan coming back from Spain for 4.5 days than I did going to Florida for 2 weeks, but different kind of trip really, wasn't it? But yeah, had a really good time. Glad I did it. Glad I took the boys. Really proud of myself for the drive-in. It's the first time I've driven on the motorway on my own. It's the first time I've driven to Bristol Airport. It's the first time I've driven to Wales, and I did that all on my own. So I am really, really proud of myself for that. And it was also in our 7-seater, which I am just not used to driving. It's a lot clunkier than my car, but needed to take that one so that we could all get back from Wales. But I'm not gonna lie, I won't do it again. Not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I really miss Josh and Avery, and it just didn't feel right. There was so many times that just things there made me think, oh, Avery would have loved that, Josh would have loved that, I wish they were here. And it was quite sad. I mean, I spoke to Josh every single day throughout the day. I was texting him, calling him. He had a great time in Wales. He really enjoyed spending time with his family. It sounds like Avery really had a great time as well. But I think ultimately we're just really happy to be back together. We missed each other a lot, so I won't be doing that again. But yeah, it was really, really lovely. Anyway, it is now at 10:10. I would like to get out and back before Avery's next feed. Oh, I'm wearing my sweater, my jumper sweater from Temu, by the way. I'm actually really happy with it. It's really nice for this time of year. It feels cold at the moment. We're at the end of August. It definitely feels like autumn is starting to set in, and I don't just think that's because, you know, I've come from a warm climate. I think it is just cold today. The nights are drawing in, the weather is very gloomy, so yeah, I think autumn's setting in. I kind of wish we'd had a bit of a longer summer. I think we had a bit of May and then June that were nice, and all of the summer holidays have mostly been miserable, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm wearing my sweater from Temu. Nice for this time of year because it's quite thin. It's certainly not a thick sweater, but because it's new, it's still really, really soft and fleecy on the inside, which is nice. So yeah, going to go and get these meds, and then I will come back and show you the updates in the kitchen. And also I have an update on Avery's EEG. She went for an EEG just before we went away, and I haven't actually updated you on that, so I need to fill you on that as well. Back from town. Avery's been fed, boys have been fed, I've been fed. I'm ready for bed. I'm so tired. Anyway, thought I'd show you what we picked up. We did manage to get the boys' school shoes. So these are the ones that Eli chose. They didn't really have much selection, especially in terms of finding the right size for them. I think they only had one pair in size 1, which luckily happened to be these, which Eli did like. They have little dinosaurs along the strap, which I thought was quite cute. These were £35. So Eli is a size 1. We used their little foot measurer, which was actually really handy because they don't normally have those in shops, or, you know, not ones that you can just freely use. And then Zach chose these ones, quite simple. There were only 2 pairs in a size 2, because he's a size 2 now, for him to try. These ones were 31. I mean, it's not cheap for essentially what is a plain black shoe, but they are leather, and I just find M&S shoes last the full year. As a matter of fact, they last longer than the full year. I've bought shoes from Georgia Asda before, and I found that I was having to replace them at least every term. So paying the extra money for something that they're going to wear 5 days a week, almost every week for the entire year, really is worth it in my opinion. I also popped into Primark, because the baby grows that we had for Avery, the one she was wearing in the winter, by going off the kind of experience of putting her in dresses that she fit into a month ago or 2 months ago, I've got a hunch that her baby grows are not going to fit her anymore, because dresses that used to be dresses are now tops. So I spoke to Josh and we discussed, do we continue to go with baby grows, which are like onesies. I know that you call them something different in America, we call them baby grows here, or do we go for pajamas? We decided to go for pajamas, A, because she will grow out of them much faster. No, the opposite of that. She won't grow out of them as fast. It's easy access to her tube. I know baby grows are anyway with the zip as well, but she's 2 now, you know, she's 2.5. It's time for her to have some big girl pajamas. So I just picked her up 3 pairs of these really nice cozy pajamas from Primark. They're all in age 2 to 3. Probably could have got away with the 1.5 to 2, but I figured when you wash and tumble dry clothes, particularly clothes from Primark, they can shrink. So got her those. Those should see her through the colder months. The med, what we actually went into town for, I did not realise, because this is a med we keep in the fridge, so I assumed, like with her omeprazole, it would come as a powder form and then we would mix it at home. That's what we do with her omeprazole, and that's how it stays stable until it gets to us. Turns out it was put into like a cooler bag, similar to the cooler bags you get your meat in HelloFresh, if you've ever had a HelloFresh delivery box, with kind of ice packs in. Now this was delivered last week to the post office, so naturally the ice packs were completely melted and nothing was cold. It was room temperature. So I spoke to Avery's epilepsy nurse and it's just no good. So that's annoying. Luckily the epilepsy nurse did ask the doctor last week to prescribe the topiramate, and to save me going out, she is actually really kindly going to collect that for me and bring it to me. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed they did put the prescription through and it's actually there, because Avery's goes bad tomorrow. So trying not to think about what to do if that happens, just trying to be positive and hoping for the best, that the med is there and we don't need to go out again, which is really nice because the weather's gone miserable. And Eli, bless him, oh my goodness, he's not well, his tummy's so poorly. So yeah, Avery has a portage appointment any minute now. I just had a text from the portage worker, she's actually running early, so she's going to be here any minute now. And yeah, I do still want to catch up with you guys about Avery's EEG, so I will catch up with you about that after her appointment, and also still need to show you the shelves. So yeah, I'll catch up with you after Avery's appointment. Portage worker has just left. I am just trying to get little Missy off for a nap because she's quite tired. She started to fall asleep in her appointment. Wasn't too strenuous. We did a bit of playing with bubbles, and mostly we talked about Avery's transition into nursery, which won't be long. So I wanted to update you on Avery's EEG. So I think it was maybe the video before last, possibly, or even the one before that actually. Avery went for an EEG and we actually got the results just before we went away. I haven't actually had them on paper yet. I just spoke to Avery's epilepsy nurse, who was able to kind of tap into the system and read what the letter said. I mean, I was kind of expecting that appointment to be a bit of a waste of time, purely because the twitches that she was having. I know. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The twitches that she was having had stopped. The kind of combination of the clobazam and the topiramate had stopped the twitches, so I just didn't think that they'd see anything. Turns out she was having mild epileptic activity on one side of her brain all throughout the EEG. So that I'm in two minds about it. In one aspect, it's kind of like, well, at least we've confirmed the diagnosis, because beforehand we were just told, yep, she's had seizures, she's got epilepsy, given the nature of her brain injury. Whereas now, you know, we've got the proof, we've had a test done to prove that she is having epileptic activity even when we're not seeing it. That's the other side of kind of where my mind's at, is she was having this epileptic activity, but there was no clinical seizure. She wasn't actually, you know, seizing, but it was still happening, and that's quite a scary thought. And I mean, I spoke to Avery's epilepsy nurse, and I said, well, is this doing her any harm? Because how are we going to know when it's happening? She said it's not doing her any harm, it's not a clinical seizure, but usually when this happens, when we see activity like this, it's almost like the brain, the body is gearing up for an actual seizure. But the hope, excuse you, bless you, baby girl. The hope is that the topiramate will do its job and she won't have a seizure. I don't think we're truly going to know the effect of the topiramate and how effective it's going to be until Avery next gets ill, which I am not wishing for. But Avery's threshold lowers quite a bit when she's poorly, and it's usually when she has a high temperature that she has a seizure, minus the one she had without the fever, which we still don't know what lowered her threshold for that. But yeah, so we 100% know now that Avery has epilepsy. She can have epileptic activity in her brain even when we're not seeing it, which, it's kind of sad. It makes me feel a little bit sad, because I just don't know what, you know, those things going on in her brain, that activity in her brain, the electric pulses or whatever it is in her brain, I don't know how that's making her feel. And if I can't see any changes in her, if I can't see it happening, I can't comfort her if it's making her uncomfortable. And I mean, I suppose if she was uncomfortable, she'd be able to tell me about it, but it's just so difficult because she's always dystonic, which means she's always showing some discomfort. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling now. I'm just saying words for the point of speaking. But long story short, the EEG wasn't a waste of time. She did have epileptic activity going on in her brain, which we weren't aware of. And she definitely is epileptic. We now have a confirmed diagnosis. What the epilepsy nurse did say as well is that is just kind of a 20-minute snapshot of Avery's brain. It doesn't mean that that is happening all the time. It was just happening in that 20 minutes. Avery is still on the waiting list to have a 24-hour EEG, which at first I was going to cancel it. And her epilepsy nurse did say at the end of the day, finding out, you know, if she was having some, you know, seizures or absent seizures in those 24 hours won't change our course of action. We are treating her as we would treat her if the EEGs found anything else. But I'm thinking it would probably be a good idea to go ahead with that. Just because she's been making some questionable movements, and it's really tricky. Josh said he saw it while he was in Wales, and I said to him at the time, you couldn't have been 100% sure, otherwise you would have called 999. Josh is very much the kind of person, when the second something starts to change, he wants to take action right away. So I know he would have called an ambulance if he was, you know, 100% sure it was a seizure. But I saw the movements that he was talking about just last night actually, and it's almost like, it's kind of like a bit of a convulsion in her shoulders, and then she shakes like she's shivering, like she's cold, but she seems tired, but also, you know, not completely out of it. So it's really difficult to tell, but I'd be curious that if that continues, I would be very curious to see if there's anything epileptic going on behind those movements, because we don't know. And that's the thing, it's a learning curve, because no seizures are the same, but her seizures can all look completely different. And I thought we'd got to a point where we'd know 100% if she was having one, but she was having epileptic activity during this EEG, and I was completely none the wiser. So yeah, that is the update. I am going to, well, she's already gone off, but I'm probably just going to sit and cuddle Avery now while she sleeps, and I will show you the kitchen unit afterwards. I keep saying I'm going to show you. I promise I will definitely show you before the end of this vlog. Right, let me show you these kitchen units finally. Here they are in all their glory. I am so happy with them. I honestly feel like I could do with another one right here. However, Josh has talked me out of it, because he said that if you had another one there, then there'd be nowhere for me to put my work clothes, because Josh has a pretty manual job and he comes home filthy. And we've got a little chest, not a chest, well it is, it's like a toy chest slash bench type thing, and we just keep these boxes on top, and Josh slings all of his dirty work clothes there of an evening. And although I could potentially use a cupboard like this for all that, I could imagine all of the dirty handprints all over them. And yeah, not only that, we don't plan to stay here, and who knows if I'll have the space for 3 when we eventually do get to move. But I just thought I would take you through what is kind of on them slash in them. So here's kind of like an overview of how I styled them. Actually really happy with the way this is looking. This aesthetic is basically how I want my whole entire house to look. I love it. Anyway, let's start in the cupboards. So in this one here, so the cupboards have 3 shelves. So this one is all shoe storage, and this is pretty much fitting the majority of our shoes, minus winter shoes. So in the winter time, I'll swap out all of these kind of sandals for winter shoes, maybe even trainers as well. But there's Josh's shoes at the top, then mine, and then the boys down there. I've also used shelf liners in here just to protect the actual shelves from kind of muddy, dirty shoes. I don't want them to get ruined. So that cupboard fits all the shoes that we need down here, which I'm thrilled about, because it's left this cupboard for the rest of the stuff. So down at the bottom there, I don't want to bang this door against the pushchair, so I'll just open it halfway. Down at the bottom here, I've got all of Avery's excess feed. This basket here has got kind of caps, hats, scarves, gloves, seasonal bits basically, winter and summer extras. And then in these 2 boxes here are excess giving sets. There was one box that I couldn't fit in here, but that is fine. That one is kind of just tucked away down there until I rotate and I can fit them in. But all of her excess feed fits in here, almost all of her excess giving sets fit in here, and we've still got a little bit of space there for something else. So I'm really happy with kind of the capacity of these cupboards. It's helped kind of hide everything away. And then for the shelves, so this you would have seen in one of my previous vlogs, is the cake stand that Josh bought me from Pro Cook for our anniversary. I'm absolutely in love with it, and I have used it a few times. Really happy with it. And then I've just got my Bon Appetit print. That one is from Desenio, and that one was a DIY. I just bought the frame and then I printed out Time for Dinner, but I've spelt time as in the herb. I just thought that was quite quirky. And then I've just got this little stack here. So this is actually like a kind of candle plate kind of thing, and I probably will use it as a candle plate because you can't really see it up here. Like when you're kind of standing, you can't really see it. This bowl, I think I picked this one up from Wilko. I just really liked the colour, that kind of sagey green, and it almost looks like cabbage leaves. And then I've just stacked this kind of acacia wood bowl on top. So these are kind of like snack or dip bowls, I suppose. And then this is actually a new addition that I've just popped in here. This was a gift from Josh. I came back to this from Spain. He'd actually bought me this, and it's actually, I think it was called a love spoon, but essentially, I'll let you do your own research because honestly I'd probably just butcher the entire meaning, but essentially it is an old tradition. It is basically like a symbol of love in Wales, and Josh bought me this, so I wanted it to have a little place on show because that is so incredibly adorable, and I just think it looks nice in there. Then directly below, this is the herb spice kind of rack, I suppose, that I bought from B&M. This does extend. This is actually on its shortest at the moment, so I've got more herbs that I can fit, and then I've just got all of my beautiful herbs. This makes me so happy. It's so organised, they're alphabetized, they're all labelled and they match. I love it so much. And then this frame again, same with like the Time for Dinner one, I just printed out brew because we like tea, we like a brew. I've got a little serving board back here. This was from B&M, and then 2 cookbooks that I picked up in a charity shop. I've got the Delia collection. One of them's chocolate and one of them is soup. I just think it adds like quite a nice contrast to the kind of browns and whites. And then I've got these 2 wooden little salt and pepper mills. Those were from Temu. And then down here I've just got our fruit basket. I would like a new fruit basket, maybe like a nice wooden one, or even a nice kind of stoneware one would look really, really nice. That one was from Matalan a few years ago, but I would like to replace that with a nice stoneware one. 2 more cookbooks. I think both of these I got in charity shops. Did I? Yeah, I did. I got both of these in charity shops. I've just got Mary Berry at Home and Jamie's 30-minute meals. I've taken both of these out of their sleeves just because I think they look nicer without them. And I've just got my little plant here. I'm not very good at keeping plants alive, but this one is not dead. It just gets kind of brown on the ends of its leaves. And then moving over to this shelf, a big chopping board back there. I've had that for years. Couldn't even tell you where I got it from. Another serving board. It actually came in a set of 2 from B&M, so the second one is here. The Naked Cookbook, got this on eBay. Really love the colour and the texture of this. Just a plant pot. Fun fact, this did actually have basil in it not that long ago. I killed it. I don't know how, but it was just dead one day. A couple more cookbooks here. I've got Cook with Jamie and the Cocktail Edit. I got both of these from a car boot sale. Well, technically this one isn't a cookbook, it's a drink book, but still suitable for the kitchen. I've got a little faux succulent. I'm pretty sure this was like a set of 3 from IKEA. They're really cheap. And then this really nice jar. I think this one was from B&M. Nothing is in it at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to put anything in it at all, but I just like the way it looks up there. And then down here, I've got these charger plates. I've had these again for years, and they were just kind of stacked in the shelves in the living room, and I just thought they suited better here. I would again like to replace these charger plates, maybe just for some nicer placemats or something, but I don't think they look too out of place in these cupboards. This was actually something that Zach made in school a couple of years ago, and I remember when he bought it home, and I was just then getting into this kind of clay / stoneware, ceramic kind of look, and I thought to myself, one day I'm gonna have kitchen shelves, I'm gonna have built-in kitchen shelves, and this is gonna look perfect on it. So I kept it, and now I have my kitchen shelves, and there it is, and that's its new home. Got another plant pot here. I can't remember where the plant pot is from. B&M maybe. And then same plant as the one that is down there. And then I've got this little black basket. I don't really love the black wire look anymore, but again, I think it kind of suits the shelves nice, and I haven't got anything else to put tea towels in at the moment. So this has just got all of our tea towels in. And then down on the bottom shelf, really basic, we've just got a basket, which is kind of like a catch-all basket. It's got random bits in it, and stuff that Josh likes to kind of have easy access to in the morning on his way to work. And then another plant, which once again is not looking so good. This is actually coriander, and I do use it for cooking. So if it does die, I will just buy another one. They're less than £1, and I do like to use them for cooking, but I don't think the basil liked being up there. The coriander does better there than it does in front of the window, but I am just no good at plants, keeping them alive or figuring out what they need, so I tend to kill them a lot, which is why I usually stick to artificial. Only other update in the kitchen I've got to show you. I sorted out my little sink situation. Excuse the mess in the actual sink. What I mean is this here. These two little trays are from Temu. So I picked up 2 of them, and then I've got this one with my dish soap and my little pan brush, pot brush I think it's called. And then over here I've got hand soap and hand sanitizer. So these are the things that we use on the daily. I've just popped this plant here. It looks very alive because it's not. This one looks fine because it's artificial. But anyway, I'm quite happy with how this little area is looking. I think the glass jars, not the glass jars, the pump bottles were from B&M. I'm pretty sure they were from B&M. Like I said, the little trays were from Temu. This I've had for years, I can't remember where it's from. And the little pot brush I think is from the range. So yeah, that's looking really nice as well. In terms of the kitchen, there are still a few things I would like to replace. I still want to replace my like baking pans. I want to get some nice roasting dishes. I'd like to get a few more kind of serving dishes. And I also want to replace my cast aluminium pots. Not because they're not any good, I love them, but I just want them in a different colour. I want them in more of a cream. I feel like if I go with creams and beiges, it's always going to go with something else, so it doesn't matter how my style will change throughout the years. Those are the kind of things that are always going to fit with other things. So yeah, still got things to do in the kitchen, but for now I'm actually quite happy with where it's at. So happy with those shelves. I love the way they look. They bring me so much joy. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed spending the day with us. I do just have a quick question for you guys, and someone mentioned to me in my comments that they thought that my videos may reach more people if I made them shorter, sort of kind of like 20-minute mark, I suppose. My question for you guys, because I know there are some of you that have been preferring the longer vlogs, but do you prefer the longer videos or the shorter videos? I feel like I've asked you this question already, but in particular those of you that perhaps have only just found my channel, or this is the first video of mine that you're watching, are you more likely to click on one of my videos for the first time if it's a shorter, so sort of around the 20-minute mark, or longer, so 30+ minutes? I am intrigued to know. So with that said, make sure you are subscribed if you are just finding my videos, and I will see you guys in a few days with another one. Bye guys.